Somehow, Sam from Death Stranding feels more physically real to me than pretty much any other video game character. Emphasis on physically. Some characters say nothing, and some are super vocal. We can imagine Sam being around here on the video game character self-expression chart. When Sam says anything at all, I'm always paying attention. But he barely says anything, which is great. Why should the player character say anything if they're meant to represent the player themselves? In this case, Sam is not the player. Sam is Sam, and we control Sam, but Sam also controls himself. Sam introduces friction into the player's experience. The perfectly logical opinion to have here would be that the character should never act in a random way or disturb the player's control at all. The much more intuitive and strange opinion would be that sometimes the character isn't good at everything and sometimes they mess up or fail. Anything you add to Death Stranding to remove this friction actually takes away from the game. There's nothing you can add that doesn't also subtract. For another example of this, see the early Silent Hill games. Sam physically reacts to so many things in the environment in realistic and believable ways. It hurts me to see him get hurt, and by extension, it makes me feel good when he wins. Sam reacts to being within a certain distance from his destination. You can see him slow down momentarily to take stock of his surroundings. This is taking control away from the player, but the player is not controlling the game. They're controlling Sam, who is playing the game. It's a very fine point, but Sam is like a middleman between you and Death Stranding. We get to physically know this character without tons and tons of dialogue because we put him to bed, put him in the shower, wash his face, feed him, and change his shoes. Any sensible developer would immediately cut all this garbage, but in Death Stranding, we can actually watch a separate cutscene for most of these things. Oh look, Sam's sunburn is healed. If I just sit here and do nothing, Sam looks pretty much directly at me. You have to ask yourself, why? When you stop, Sam stops and takes a break. His animation for going to sleep is surprisingly complex. You can also massage your shoulders. After you wake up, you can see Sam adjusting his backpack. Yes, that's the camera itself blinking like an eye when you enter a BT area. We set up a super strong case for Sam not just being a representation of the player, but a source of divergence between the player's inputs and the game's outputs. So why should he actually be quiet? He shouldn't be so quiet, but he is. This problem forces you to pay attention to whatever Sam says, and much of what he says is of very little importance. He's just kind of along for the ride. We're along for the ride too, and it's hard to imagine having any other type of personality for a porter inside the world of Death Stranding. It's better to confide in Sam's unflappable demeanor than to listen to someone wax poetic about the state of the world. Sam and the player are just going to shut the hell up and get to work. Observe the sheer amount of effort put into humanizing Sam's controls and animations. It means something, and you grow close to this character as you experience the lonely Zen atmosphere that only Death Stranding has. This must be why it feels so physically real, tangible, and relatable. This video uses recordings from Death Stranding 2, but everything here equally applies to Death Stranding 1. Make sure to play both for an experience you will never get anywhere else.